It's my great honor to now introduce Dr. Rick Lieber. He's the Chief Scientific Officer and Senior Vice President of Research at the Shirley Ryan Ability Lab. And although Kathleen and Rick never worked together in an official capacity, Kathleen has described Dr. Lieber as a model for how to be passionate about the science that we do, but also the people that we work with. And so the prompt that we said, Kathleen, was, what is one lesson this person taught you that you still carry with you today? And Kathleen responded, when we walked the halls of the Shirley Ryan Ability Lab, I was touched by how he had a deep personal connection with everyone we saw. Rick has shown me and the entire neuroscience community that scientific success should always be partnered with kindness, generosity, and integrity.
Wow. Bless you. So I don't get to show any papers with Kathleen and I together. Darn it. Kathleen, why didn't we write anything together? Too busy with everybody else? Anyway. So I'm giving you kind of the groupie perspective. I've been an admirer of Kathleen since before we knew each other. You know how when you're doing science, I'm a CP researcher, I'm a muscle guy. So I've been studying hand function and muscle in kids with CP for a long time. So I've read papers that she's on, and you know how when you read the person's papers, you think, that's interesting. That's a unique take. That's bold. That's wrong. Turns out to be right. I'm wrong. Those kind of things. And I said, I remember thinking, I can't wait to meet this lady. And I can't remember exactly where we met, but we were at a symposium, and she was down in the front rows. And she stood up and started talking, and I realized she has CP. And then I kind of go, of course, she's a stud. Like, she's a killer. She has accomplished all this stuff and has this way of thinking, partly just because of who she is. So we were in the process. I was at UCSD for 30 plus years. I had just moved to Chicago. We were, Joanne Smith was the CEO at the time, and we were envisioning the Shirley Ryan Ability Lab, this thing where scientists, clinicians, therapists, nurses, et cetera, would be together. And we invited Kathleen for a seminar. And it was, I knew the science she was going to share was going to be great, but I loved the beginning. She was going to talk about cerebral palsy. She was talking about her human work. And she started, you know, how everybody's like, cerebral palsy is a, the boring start. She didn't have the boring start. She had the story. Basically, she said a couple of lines, and then she had an arrow pointing to herself, and she goes, it's me. and she started laughing. She was cracking up. She thought it was the funniest joke ever, and we all started laughing. And I just go, I love that girl. So after the seminar, we hadn't planned it. I took her into Joanne's office just for like a cup of coffee or something, and we started talking about the work and what we were thinking about, because we were in the early stages of opening this building. And then I think you left to do a little tour also, but Joanne said, get her. Like, we want her. That's the kind of person we want here. Like us as a scientific chair, good scientist, committed to the system, lots of leadership ability, oozed warmth and love. Anyway, but she wouldn't come. That's okay.
Thank God.
Thank God, I guess. I don't know. So as I'm hearing all this stuff, I like at the outsiders view, I really see her. I know her faith is significant to her. You guys may know John Maxwell, who's a kind of a leadership person, former pastor turned leader. And I think I see that faith and that strength and that power coming from this connectedness to God and her mission in life. And I looked up a bunch of his quotes, and I picked one of them that I thought was kind of you-ish. It says, this is John Maxwell, it says, the pessimist complains about the wind. The optimist expects it to change. The leader adjusts the sails. And that's what I think of Kathleen. I think what we've been talking about today is leadership, moral, scientific, organizational, human leadership. And I just say bless you and thank you for letting me be part of this. Amen.